Welcome to Microsoft Power Automate training videos. In this video, we'll discuss how to copy documents from one document library to another document library using instant flow. And also we'll discuss how to move the documents between the libraries. So for that, I'm going back to this make.powerautomate.com, and before creating a flow, we'll go to a SharePoint site. So we have a site name called modern sites. So I'll open like this. We'll go back to site contents. In the site contents, I'll create one document library, so which I'll name it as a source library. Click create, and I'll create one more document library. So for that, I'm going back to site contents. We'll name it as a destination document library. Destination library. Now we have two document libraries. I'll go back to the source library first. I'll create a new document here, new Word document. So I'll enter text, this is for flow demo, and then I'll rename this one to test doc 1. Now which will save automatically. When we close this one, we can able to see the document which is showing the old name. Once we refresh, we can able to see the new name, which is a testdoc1.docx. Now we have the document here in the source library. Now I'll go back to my create flows, and here I'll take a instant cloud flow. I want to take a trigger as on a specific file. For a selected file, I'll take, and I'll give a name as doc flow. Would be fine. I'll click create. Now here, which is for the selected file, which is a manual flow, and I'll select this modern site for demo, so which we are using, and now which is asking for a library name, and then I'll select the source library here. Now this is the first trigger action, and then we'll add a new step to here. And I'm trying to add a new step here, like a copy document or copy file. We have copy file which is deprecated, and but anyhow which is this one, old one, but I have used this copy file, and the current site address is the same site address I want to copy, or if you want to copy to another site also, you can able to do that. And file to copy, here when you click this one, and I have this source library, and when you expand this one, you can able to see this testdoc1.docx, and then destination site address. This is a source, and this is the destination. Destination is modern site, and destination folder would be the destination library, which is this. And if we already have a same file, what we want to do, so here we have couple of options for that. One is copy with a new name, or fail this action, or you can able to replace. Whatever you like to do, you can able to do that. Now, so we are done with this one, and when you save this now, which is actually a static information we have given, which is not a dynamic entry, so we can able to make this as dynamic as well. So for that, what we have to do is, I'll remove this one, and before removing, we have to give, like, we have ID, file ID, item URL, file name, user ID, couple of options we have. So what I'll take is, I'll take a file name, then I'll remove this one. I'll remove this testdoc1.docx. Now it is dynamically, it will take dynamically, because this file name which is coming from the selected file. So it will take the file name from the selected file, and then it will copy the data. So what I'll do is, I'll save this one, and I'll select this, and we'll go to automate. And when you go to the automate, you can able to see the flow name here, which is a doc flow, which we created just before. Now I'll click this doc flow. Now we are starting manually this. Click continue and click run now. Now the flow is started. We'll wait for a while. Meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll try to open the destination library in another tab. Now you can able to see here testdoc1.docx. What I want to do is I want to create another property for this document. Now I'll create a single line of text. So I'll give a name as this document type. I'm just giving. I'll save this one. Now we have this document type. Now I'll create one more file here, which is a Excel file I'll create. I'll give something called test as an column name, and I'll give one more like test1. So we have these two columns. Now I'll rename this one from the book to data info, something like this. So done, and it will save. Once it is saved, I'll close this one. When you go back to here, you can able to see a new file which is created here, and this file in the source library. Now I'll try to run the flow. When I click this one, and if I go to automate, and I can able to see the doc flow, and the doc flow, I'll click run now, click run flow, and it will start it. Now after some time, we'll refresh this one, and once it is refreshed, we'll see what happens. You can able to see this data info.xlsx is available here, and I have this document type as a property, and this property value I'm not mentioned anything here. So if, for example, if I mention something here, sorry, before mentioning this, we don't have any column here, so we cannot able to mention. But for example, what I'll do is I'll create one more column here, which is a single line of text, which is something called so there we have created a document type. Now here what I'll do is I'll give a name as document is related to this is a column name, and I'll save this one, and we'll create a new one. Now I have this property here. Now I'll create a I'll try to create a new PowerPoint presentation, and when I'm here, I'll give something called Rishan Solutions. Done, and then we'll change this one to, we'll rename this one after a bit, so which is saving, and I'll change this presentation to something like site info. Then you can change the design whatever the way you like, and it will save automatically. Now this file is available. I'll go back to here. This file is available, and I'll close this one, and we'll try to update the metadata, and I'll try to edit this one with something called test. So once it is done, and we'll try to exit this one. Now what I'll do is I'll try to run this flow, document flow, and click run now. It is taking some time. Yes, we'll click run now. Then now the flow is started, and we'll refresh this one. This is done, and which is created without any issue. So Here when you try to copy the document, and you no need to worry about your properties, but we'll check move file concept, and this copy is working as expected. So what I'll do is I'll remove this, or what we'll do is we'll try to create a new flow, and click this one, and then select this instant cloud flow, and select for a selected file, and give a name as move documents. Click create. Now for selected file, I'll select the same site address. For a library, I'll select source library, and we'll take a new step here, and then we'll type this move file. Now I'll select the source site as a modern site, and the file to move, which is from the source library, we'll take any one, and then we'll remove this one a bit later. Now I'll take this file name here, so we'll remove this data info dot xlsx. Now the destination will take the same site, and destination folder will take a destination library, which is a destination library, and take this as replace. Now we'll try to save this one. Now we only have two steps here. One is for a selected file, and the next one is move file concept. Now we are done with this one, and I'll go back to the same site. Now I'll try to create a new file here, which is again a Word document. This is for move document. I just given some text inside that one. We'll rename this document into a test 3. This would be fine. And once it stores, this test 3 document we have created. Now when I try to click this ellipses, and we have Power Automate, under this one we can able to see move documents. When you click move documents, and it will open a window here to start the flow, and it is taking the SharePoint connection. Click continue, click run now, and done, which is started. We'll refresh this one. Now this document is still here, and if you refresh this one, you cannot able to see the document. So we'll wait for a while, and we'll refresh once again, and go to my flows, and go to move documents, and which is failed actually. So missing or mismatched fields definition on the destination list for the source filter. The document is related type text is missing in the destination. So which means this field is not available in the destination. So that is the reason the move is not working. So move file, actually what it will do is it will move the complete document from here, and it will store in the destination. So what we have to do is we have to create a column with the same name. Go with a single line of text, so which is document is related. So we have to copy paste, so that would be better. If we miss any spellings, like if you are entering in a wrong name, it will not accept. The field name should be same in the both places. Now I'll copy this one, and then we'll paste it here, so which is a single line of text, and this one also is a single line of text, and try to save this one, and which is saved. Now we're done. Go back to the document library, go to source library. Now select this test 3, and go to the automate, and run this move document flow. Click run flow. We'll wait for a while. The flow will start, and it will move the document from here. So now the test 3 document is not available in the source library. When you come back here in the destination library, the document will be available here in the destination library. See the in the destination library, you can able to see the test3.docx is available, and which is not available in the source library. So when you copy the document from the source library to destination library, it will keep the original one here, and it will take a copy and place it in the destination library. But if you use a move document concept, it will move the document from the original place and it replace it in the destination library. So that's a slight difference between the copy document and move document. But whenever you are copying the document from one library to another library, you no need to worry about the properties which is available in the source library, and it only copies the document to the destination library. But whereas coming to the move document, if you have some properties in the source library and the same type of properties are not available in the destination library, it will pass an error message. It will not move documents from one place to another place if any of the property is missing in the destination library. If in the destination library contains more properties also, that will not impact on the move document, but it must and should have the properties which is available in the source library. And if sometimes just before we try to copy the data and we are getting an error, so if we get an error, and as a developer we can able to see the error in the history, but as an end user they don't understand what happened in the flow. If the flow is started and it is not giving any output and the end user don't understand what happened, that point of time we can able to use the exception handling to send a notification to the end user, and this is the reason the flow is got failed. Or maybe you can send an email simply saying that your flow is failed, please try to run once again. Or maybe you can reach out your administrator to identify the issue. So that way we can notify the end user. That will discuss in the upcoming videos.